Okay, signature number 2. And I wanted to mention, I don't think I said it when we started before, that this is Cherish Horse Graphics Ethereal Birds. That's what I made this faux glassine paper out of. Goodness, can't speak. Not that it's unusual for me, to be honest. But anyway, that's Cherish Horse Graphics. And then signature number 2 and signature number 3, the faux glassine, is made from Cotton and Twigs Granny Chic papers. So thought I would mention that before we move on. So this is more of my paint paper, and this signature has a lot of my paint paper in it. And this is where I started experimenting with that process. And this page, I wish you could see it the way it is on the paper. It's really pretty. And it's kind of a peachy pink color, and it really stands out. And this page, I don't know why, but it absorbed more in some places than others, so it actually looks like there's layers of the paint, and maybe I did like put more on and then splattered it with some more or something. I don't know what I did, but anyway, it looks really cool, and it's got the tea stains too. And then a little butterfly stamp here. And I thought it would look cool because you can just, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can just kind of see it through the butterfly, through the faux glassine. If you can't see it on the camera, trust me, it is visible in person. So one of my stencils, and this is really good. These splatters, I hope you can see on there. They're probably not, you probably can't see it as clearly as they are in person, but they're good. And then some of my faux washi tape, and this is actually, I wanted to mention, I got this idea from Shabby Cottage Studios. She has a whole sheet of faux washi tapes. Actually, I think she has 2 different types on her shop on Etsy. So I did buy one of her pages of faux washi tapes, but then I also, if I have scraps of a paper I really like, I will make them into strips and just save them as washi tape. And I have a container of them around here somewhere. Tea stain paper with some tea splatters, I think, and then gold, I don't know, a bunch of gold drippings and smears and I don't know what all. Cotton and Twig, one of her kits. This, I think, is Cherish Horse, My Porch Prince. That's her rose clocks. And then I just made the hands for it. A page to create art on. And then this is, I had, in journal number 1, I used one of Shabby Cottage Studios floral butterflies, and this is one of her birds. So she has a sheet that is butterflies and a sheet that is birds, and they are really cool ephemera, just little decorations to put in your journal. And this is a paint or tea stain page with some tea drippings and then paint drippings, and I did some little branches that would fan out from the corner here, and stencil. Cotton and Twig again, and then these are some of my graphics. This one is, I have beautiful textiles on here because that is something that makes me very happy. But this is just stunning, and I found a few different pictures of like antique textiles with hand stitching on them, and it's very intricate and just gorgeous. Wouldn't you just feel like a princess sleeping under that? But anyway, I love that. And then this is an antique painting of some birds, and it was just a scratchy kind of faded picture online, and I tried to play with it and bring the birds out a bit more. It didn't work great, but it was good enough to go into my journal. Tea staining, tea and paint splatters on this one, and this one's some faint tea markings, and then paint markings, and then a stencil. And then this is My Porch Prints. That's her watercolors kit. And it's really beautiful. And that was just a scrap I had, and I tore it in a design and then inked it up really good and just glued it on there. And then that's actually a texture stencil that I just used Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Vintage Photo on there. And then I did a stencil here as well. So this is some more of my graphics. So pictures I found online. So that one I thought was really pretty, and I put the words on there and messed with it a lot, of course. And Agapanthus, this was just a picture I found and just made kind of a little, I don't know, it looks like it could be on a package of bulbs or something, I thought. Half a page with half of a heart. And then this is, I think, Cherish Horse Graphics. And I see that it's got Ruby and Pearls paper on the other side. You can see it peeking through there. This is a collage tag that I did, another one of those. Just because I find them so relaxing. I thought this turned out pretty cute with the butterfly and botanique. I guess that's botanical in French. My guess. I don't know for sure. And then a stencil on the back. And I put it, I think that's actually a thin paper bag there. And I like this rough edge. I just think it looks really cool. So I tend to do that quite a bit. Just leave things a bit unfinished. And then cotton and twig. And this is a tea stain paper with some paint splatterings, some stencil, and then this little scrap of beauty here. It's just somebody's paper. And it was a scrap I had, and I just inked it really good. I made sure the edges were rough, inked it really good, and glued it onto my page here. And this one, I am not sure whose paper that is. Gosh, I should know. I'll try to list those under the video on YouTube. This is another scrap with just some little black and white flowers, and I tore it jaggedy, glued it on another page, and tore that jaggedy to make a sturdy belly band, glued it on each end. And then I've got two of my graphics here, and that's somebody's artwork, those bleeding hearts. Just, oh, I love those things, so pretty, and great spring color, little woodland flowers. And then this is a magnolia tree that I found on a hike, and it's a white magnolia, so it has the pink in the cup, but the edges are white. And I just wrote white magnolias on here. And yeah, it was taken with my iPhone, I think. Took that. I used to have an iPhone. And then this is another Angela Kerr idea. This is actually, I think this is actually like an advertisement that came in the mail. And so the paper is Cotton and Twigs tear sheets, and did the little thumb hole, and feels really cool. But just makes a cool wallet to hold a couple pieces of ephemera. So this is actually an old illustration, foxgloves, which is another of my favorite flowers. And I have a little butterfly charm and some sari silk, little bow there, and then a very cool stencil on the back. I think some of the stencils are so amazing that you could just make tags out of them. But I do love the paper sets and doing my digitals and all that. So this is just a little funky poem I wrote while I saw a fern on a hike, and the light was just illuminating the fronds and just looked so beautiful, and I came home and wrote a poem about it. The other side of that cotton and twig tear sheet, and then a little, I think this is Country at Heart, if I'm not mistaken. And this is Milena Art Studio on Etsy, and she's got a lot of really cool stuff. And then, I'm not sure whose paper that is, but another pretty one. It's similar to the Le Vintage Chocolat, but that's not the Le Vintage Chocolat. Maybe Country at Heart again. Tea stained and gold drips. And this is a tea stained paper with some dark tea spottings and some paint drips, and then the stencil, one of my favorites, little roses there. And then this is Ruby and Pearls vintage garden book or garden magazine or something like that. Garden catalog maybe. Anyway, very cool graphics. And then this is also Ruby and Pearls. It's from that same garden book. And I did some stenciling over the words here. And this is the center fold of my signature, so I'm going to show you this one first. These are Cotton and Twigs tear sheets again, and amazing, so stunning. And I bought a few people's tear sheets because they're really fun to work with. Little stencil here, and it's, I think, a light colored paper bag, and again you can see it's like got the fold of the paper bag because I was not too picky, since it was going into my journal, I was not too picky about having it perfectly straight or anything. So, okay, so I had to go download my videos from my phone because it decided it was full and didn't want to record anymore. So while I was doing that, I looked up, this page is actually Shabby Cottage Studio. It is her romantic journal kit. So we'll see the other side of that too. Anyway, I've gotten a bunch of stuff wrong, I'm sure, in accrediting things here. Some stuff right, some stuff wrong. But please forgive me. I'm trying to remember where I got everything. So we'll move on here in this beautiful signature. I just love this page. And try not to grab the back side of that. So another of Cotton and Twigs. She calls these patchwork collage sheets, I guess. I did look that up too while I was out. And I've got a couple. Shabby Cottage Studios has a really beautiful collage sheets too. Couple of them. One of my graphics, and that was out on a hike. I took that picture. It's an actual bush. I had never seen it before, and since then I've seen it a few times. So this has stenciling on the back, a little hibiscus in tattered rose distress oxide, and then a little coin pocket. And I printed Le Vintage Chocolat in the inside. And oh, I have another, I forgot. I have another of Cotton and Twigs collage sheets there. Little piece of that. Might be the other side of the butterfly I used on the big tag. That, I think, is Cherish Force Graphics. And this is Ruby and Pearl. It is the other side of this page. And this is, if I didn't mention this before, because I think I have another one in here, but that is my Porch Prints watercolors pages, and just torn and inked and glued in. Another little stencil page. It's on heavily tea stained and paint dribbled paper. And more tea staining and some gold drips there. And then a floral page here. Not sure who that's from. This is Milena Art Studio. Just a little stenciling. Hopefully you can see it there. There you go. Better. Okay. These are from, there's a event in the town where I live, and happens every year, and every year they've started using this as part of their advertisement in the local paper. And so I got them last year, and then I got them again this year. So just love that. Right, I don't know, looks kind of Art Deco-ish to me. Not the color, but just the shapes and idea. So this is the other side of this little wallet. So I have, again, Cotton and Twig. Those same collage sheet. Well, this isn't. That's just a couple things I glued on there. But this is Cotton and Twigs collage sheets. And one of my graphics. And I was out for a walk and just felt something on my finger, and I looked, and it was a ladybug, a ladybird beetle, and it just landed on my finger while I was walking. So I had my phone in my hand, and I just lifted it up and took a picture, and then put her on a bush. And later I added the words. I don't actually have any words tattooed on my fingers, but I mean, that would be, if I was going to do a tattoo, that'd be a cool one. And then some stenciling on the back. And so, yeah, again, I just tore out a picture and glued it on there. I didn't like the paper that I had put on there, but I don't like that either. But I guess for now it'll do. A little charm, a stenciled page with some flowers. And here's the other part of that. Hopefully I can find this one. it is this page. It's the other side of that. And that again is from Shabby Cottage Studios Romantic Journal Kit. A little stencil, cotton and twig, a little pocket that I made, you know, by folding the paper over. And I don't really like paper doilies, but I used that one there. Okay, so my camera is giving me fits here, so hopefully I've got it sorted out. So this is Thomas Kincaid painting, and I did a little graphic with it, and I do love lighthouses. And that one, some of these pictures that I found online, they were just really bad quality, so I had to really mess with them to make them look like something. And then there's a little bit of a rose stencil there on the back. And then I love this cameo. I don't know how to get her on there. It is really pretty. And I got a bunch of Mod Podge. It just kind of got on the picture. I don't know how, but it was when I was working on her. But I still think she's just so beautiful. So, oh, what's on the back? Oh, little rose stencil. Okay. And then some more of my tea and paint spattered pages and some little stamps. And you know, olive branch there, and a little flower, and then a Shakespeare quote. And it says, "One touch of nature makes the whole world kin." And I don't know about anybody else, but I am an Oxfordian. I do believe it was the Earl of Oxford who wrote all those plays and sonnets. He was highly educated and lived at the same time and was known to be a writer. Although he was not allowed to, he was upper class, so he couldn't publish his writings in his own name. So, got a little Cherish Horse graphics. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, a little decoration there, a cutout. And then this is from my garden book, one of my garden books that I have purchased. And then this is My Porch Prince. It's in one of her kits, a music page. And then this is a tea stain that I'm gonna make a video on later. Got a little stenciling there. Let's see. And then little pocket, and this is from my garden book again. More bleeding hearts, and just backed it with some distressed paper. And then this one, little windowed mailer or something that I cut down. And this, I believe, is cotton and twig paper here. And little sentiment, forget me not. And then the back, it's actually one of my boho papers, my bohemian papers in draft format. It's got a little flower and leaf on jewelry there. Okay. Cotton and twig, and a paint and tea spattered page, and stenciling, nice and distressed, fun place to write, same here. And then my bohemian paper again, It's a little bit clearer here. And then this is one of my stencils, these little leaves too. And this is Le Vintage Chocolat's page, and that is printed in standard. So you can see it's quite bright when it's printed in full. And that's more stenciling there. And on the back, that's my same Bohemian paper, and have a little doe or a fawn there. Stencil. Cotton and twig, some stenciling. I did take my finger, I put some gold paint on and rubbed it over the edges of the closed journal just so it would make the edges gold. Teas, paint, and stenciled paper. And more here. And then this is tea and paint spattered. And this is one of my mom's little stamps, little birdie. So cute. And the back of that signature.